mocking us!
Okay, boys, I think we're done for now.
My fellow Nerdikins, welcome back to another episode of That's So Nerdy. Today I've got another deck profile for you, and it's going to be for a deck that I really think didn't get enough love in Set 12. I really think it's a lot of fun to play, and especially the iteration that I have of it, I think it's really fun to play. And if you haven't gathered by now, the deck is going to be Whis. And he's got an auto ability once per turn. When it attacks, you draw a card. Second auto ability, if it's your opponent's turn, when you combo with a yellow skillless battle card with 15,000 power, when it's placed in your drop area from your combo area, you play it to the battlefield instead. And you can do that once per turn. And then to awaken, you have the standard awaken, which is at 4 or less life, and then you draw a card and restand an energy. But he's got a secondary awaken that if you've got a Unison in play with two specified energy costs of 2, you can awaken through the same method, draw a card, restand an energy, and then you draw down from your life down to 6 life. And then when he flips over, he becomes Whis Godly Mentor. Got the same 2 auto abilities. Now he's got an activate main ability, though, that if you tap 1 energy, choose 1 yellow Sun Goku and 1 yellow energy, choose 1 yellow Sun Goku or 1 yellow Vegeta with an energy cost of 2 in your battle area and place it in your in its owner's drop area. Choose up to 1 yellow skillless battle card from your deck, or 1 battle card. I apologize. Choose 1 battle card from your deck with an energy cost of 3, an EX evolve skill, and the same same character name as the card you place in your drop area, and play it, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So that's essentially just being able to EX evolve from your deck. It's really, really useful with the engine that's running behind this. And in this deck, we're only going to be running 1 Unison, but we're running 4 copies of it. And it's going to be Vadis Cosmic Aide. The reason we're running this and no other Unison is because it just synergizes so well with this Whis leader. So its auto ability is when your opponent attacks, you may choose 1 skillless battle card in your hand or drop area and combo with it. If you do so, negate this skill for the turn. So once per turn, you can combo. What makes that useful is you can combo from your drop area. I don't know why they felt the need to say from your hand, because you get to combo from your hand anyway. But you get to combo with your skillless battle cards from the drop area, which is really useful when paired with your leader's ability to once per turn play one of those skillless battle cards, as long as it was comboed during your opponent's turn. And then to add a marker, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, switch it to rest mode. It doesn't seem that useful, but it actually really is very useful, especially once you get your EX Evolve cards out there, and you'll see why that is when we get there. Second activate main, if you remove 4 markers, you can play up to 2 of your skillless battle cards with 15,000 power from your deck or drop area, and then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So if you're just kind of going for game, and your opponent's been holding you back just a little bit here and there, you're able to go ahead and pop those 4 markers and then pull those 2 skillless battle cards either from your deck or your drop. It's going to be in one of the 2. You're going to have a copy of one of the 2 in your deck and drop. And by that time, you should have enough energy that you could play them, attack with them, EX evolve them, and then go for game. Really, really good synergy between the leader and the Unison in this deck, in my opinion. All right, now the first battle card we're going to be running 3 copies of Vegeta the Impregnable, It's got 5,000 power, 5,000 combo, and when this card is played, you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add up to 1 yellow Unison with a specified cost of 2 or 1 yellow Saiyan with an energy cost of 3 or less among them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Now, the reason this is so useful in this deck is because, of course, 1, your Unison has a specified cost of 2. But 2, all of your battle cards in this deck, except for one of them, cost 3 or less. All of them. Boss cards, the whole 9. They all cost 3 or less. And so essentially you can search out any card in your deck with this Vegeta. Well, the top 5. Search through the top 5, of course, is what I mean. And then the next card we're running is we're going to be running 3 copies of Bulma sending out an SOS. She's got 1000 power. No combo power. But her auto ability is if your leader is a Whis card and it's your opponent's turn, when you use this card in a combo, you can combo with a yellow skillless battle card with an energy cost of 2, power 15,000 from your deck. So if you don't have those skillless in your hand that you want to be able to use and get onto the field so you can EX evolve them and you can slowly start chipping away. It's actually not that slow. Because it's a lot of little 15,000 swings that your opponent has to try and either counter out of or combo out of. This deck is very good at coming and hitting with just bam, 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 little shots, little body shots, and then next thing you know, the duel's over. So that's very important for getting your skillless if you don't already have them in your hand, or if you don't have the one that you need in order to EX evolve into the one that you want to. All right, the next card we're running is 4 copies. 4 copies of Son Gohan Stalling for Time. Another 1-drop, 4,000 power, 5,000 combo, but its auto is if you add 1 card from your life to your hand, this card gets plus 11,000 power for the turn, so it becomes a 15,000 power. Its second auto ability is if it deals damage, you get to look at the top 7 cards of your deck and play up to 1 yellow skillless battle card with an energy cost of 2 and power 15,000 among them in rest mode. So that's another way to try and get your skillless battle cards onto the board in order to EX evolve them to really just kind of romper stomp your opponent. And like I said, we're running 4 copies of that card. Next card we're running is going to be 3 copies of Dependable Saiyan Trunks. Now, when you play this card, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose 1 yellow Saiyan card among them, and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. That's very useful in this deck because there are literally only 2 cards in this deck that are not Saiyans. And that's going to be the Bulma that you just saw a moment ago. And, I mean, unfortunately, it's your super combo as well. But that's really not that big of a deal because the draw ability of this deck, you're going to be getting your super combos at some point without the help of needing to search them out. Next card we're running is going to be the last of our 1-drops. Running 4 copies of this. It's Exceptional Ability Pan. It's a 1-drop blocker. It's always nice to have blockers for a little bit of extra protection that you may not necessarily have been counting on needing. And then when this card is played, if you have a yellow Unison card in play, you get to draw a card. So if your Unison's in play, you get that, play it out there, get to draw a card. Like I said, this deck has really good draw ability. You're not really going to find yourself in a lot of situations where you don't have cards to combo with or some sort of large strategy that you can play out with the amount of cards in your hand. And then that's going to be the last of our 1-drops. Our first 2-drop is going to be our super combo. It's going to be Master Roshi Body of Steel. Very basic super combo. If your life is at 4 or less, you get to draw a card when you combo with this card. Basic, super simple, but dang, does it look good. You can't front about that. It looks really, really good. And then our next 2-drop is actually going to be our first skillless. It's going to be Vegeta. Not really a whole lot to explain. Vanilla Vegeta, 15,000 power. And then next is going to be our second skill list. Only 2 skill lists that we're running in the deck. We're running playsets of both of them, and that's very important considering the dynamic that is being run in this deck. So those 2 are very quick and easy to go over. Like I said, we're running a playset of both of those. Next is going to be our final 2-drop, and that's going to be Bardock the Enlightened. It's got an auto of once per turn when your opponent's card is switched from active mode to rest mode by one of your skills, you get to draw a card. So why he's in here is because of your Unison. Because to add a marker, you just switch an opponent's one of opponent's battle cards to rest mode. When you do that, if you have 1 Bardock on the board, you get to draw a card. And considering how he doesn't have unique, if you have multiple, say for example, we're running a play set of him. If you have all 4 on the board, highly unlikely, but if you do manage to get all 4 on the board, you tap one of your opponent's battle cards, you get to draw 4 cards. So like I said, the draw ability in this deck is pretty good. Next card we're running is going to be the first of our 3 drops, and we're running 3 copies of Impenetrable Defense Trunks. It's got an evolve. It's a 3-drop, but it's got an evolve cost of 2, and it's got blocker, and its auto ability is at the end of your turn, switch this card to active mode. So the main reason we're running this card in the deck, well, 2 main reasons is 1, it's got blocker. The second reason is so that we can excuse me, the reason that we're running him is so that this Dependable Saiyan Trunks just doesn't become stagnant on the board or become combo fodder. We want him to be useful beyond that. So that's why we're also running Impenetrable Defense Trunks, because you can evolve, attack for 20,000, and then at the end of your turn he restands. So not only is it a 20,000 attacker, but he's also a 20,000 blocker that you get to restand at the end of your turn. So you still get to utilize his power, which is pretty useful. Next card we're running is 2 copies of Vegeta Time for Vacation. It's got 20,000 power. It's got critical and an activate main / battle that if you place this card in its owner's drop area, choose up to 1 red or yellow Sungoku with an energy cost of 2 in your hand or drop area and play it. So essentially the big reason why he's in here is so you can swing for the 20,000 critical, and you can play one of your skillless Gokus from the drop area after you play him, or after you attack with him, and then pitch him to your drop area. And then after you do that, if you haven't already, you can use your leader's ability to EX evolve your Goku into his evolution to hit with another critical and pop some battle cards and so on and so forth, which is what we're going to go over next. Like I said, we're running 2 copies of that Vegeta. Next, we're running mandatory 4 copies of Sungoku Deity's Disciple. It's, as you can see, its EX evolve cost is just 1. You get to draw a card, which is very useful. You play it on top of a Sungoku, yellow Sungoku. Well, no, you don't play it on top because it's EX evolve. Excuse me, I apologize. So you pay the energy cost, pitch the Goku from your battle card, battle area to the drop area, play him, and then when this card attacks, choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. So that comes in very handy considering how your Unison taps your opponent's battle cards. And then when this card is removed from battle area by an opponent's skill, play up to 1 Vegeta with an energy cost of 2 from your deck or drop area, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So that is very, very useful because if they, I'm not sure if you noticed, but he doesn't have barriers, so he could just be popped from the battlefield because your opponent could be tired of taking that crit damage and getting one of their rest mode battle cards popped. So they're probably going to want to get him off the field as fast as possible, which is going to make it so you can play one of your Vegetas, and then that's actually the next one we're going to be talking about, which is Vegeta, Deity's Disciple. And he's got the same EX Evolve, but instead of having critical like Goku did, he's got double strike. And then his auto is when your opponent activates a counter skill during a battle with this card, you may switch this card to active mode, and if you do, negate this skill for the turn. So once per turn, if your opponent activates a counter skill against this card, you can restand it. And then the second auto ability is the same as Goku's, except you get to search out a Goku instead of a Vegeta. All right, that's the last of our 3 drops, and then this is actually going to be our last battle card. And it is going to be Great Ape Bardock, Might of the Resistance. We're only running 2 copies of this card in the deck because honestly it's not super important, but it's really nice to have considering how it's got critical and blocker. And when you combo with this card, you get to play it to the field. So instead of paying 4, you can combo with it by paying 1 energy, and then you get to play it to the field after it's comboed. So that's the main reason why it's in here. Also fill out the deck, give you a little more protection with the blocker and everything like that. And then we're only running 2 extra cards, and they're both counter attacks. The first one is going to be Spatial Transmission. If your leader card is a Whis, you negate the attack, and then you choose 1 card in your hand, pitch it, and if you do, you get to play one of your skillless battle cards with 15,000 power from the drop area in rest mode. So that's very useful because, as you've noticed, it's really important to use the cyclical value of this deck. Everything kind of happens in a cycle. You play a skillless, attack with it, EX evolve it, pitch it to your drop area, and then you're able to not only bring it back by comboing with it from your drop area with your Unison, and then using your leader's ability to play it to the battlefield, but you also get to use your counter attack, and that will play 1 from the drop area. You've also got Bulma that helps you combo from the deck. So essentially, you're pretty protected using this deck. And then the last one is going to be Time's Judgment. Really basic counter attack. If you don't know it, then, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, super basic. Pay 1 to black, negate the attack, and then you choose 2 cards in your hand and place them in your drop area to bring this back to your hand. So that's actually pretty useful because you can also use your skillless battle cards for those, since you can bring them back from your drop area. So you can picture your skillless and then combo with them, use your Spatial Transmission, bring another one back. And like I said, this deck is very cyclical, and that's pretty much the entire idea behind it, is just utilizing, rotating the skillless battle cards in and out of your drop area and EX evolving them, and then going for game. All right, well, if you like this video, go ahead and smash like, subscribe, leave a comment. If there's anything that you would like to see or possibly have any questions about, I am more than happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you very much for your time, and stay nerdy.